I really dug Lebowski. He says it's filled with modern day koans, and I'm all about bringing Buddhism up to speed with modern day times. I said, what do you mean it's filled with modern day koans? He says, well, look who wrote and directed it, the Koan brothers.
Oh.
And I say, and I say, what's another example? He says,
yeah, because that one's mid. That one's pretty mid.
Yeah, he says, the dude abides. That's very Buddhistic right there. I say, give me another one. He says, well, my favorite one is that's just like your opinion, man. And that is it. That's my favorite one.
At least he came with 3. If he'd only had
one. No, he goes on. I said, give me another. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. That's another one. They're just, and he was filled with these things. And I said, those are pretty good. He says, yeah, let's write a book, man. I say, what do you mean? He says, yeah, we'll write a book about this. You into it? And I thought about it, and I got such a hit from this guy. You know how you get a hit kind of immediately with people, boom.
Yeah, some people are fascinating. It's like meeting a cool pet in the street.
You just boom.
You keep petting it or whatever.
Yeah. And so we got in cahoots. We went up to Montana for a week or 2 and wrote this book called The Dude and the Zen Master. Oh, you got it up there. It is. There's Bern.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
And what happened to him?
Huh?
What happened? He passed away?
He died. Yeah. Just,
Man, he could have faked it and he could be in Barbados.
But this guy, I would advise your viewers to check him out. You can Google the hell out of him. He's got so many wonderful books.
Bernie Glassman?
Bernie Glassman.
Kudos
The Infinite Circle, Instructions to the Cook. He's was so great. Oh, anyway, getting back to the heads. So I had this weird idea because I got very involved with his organization called the Zen Peacemakers.
And were you spending a lot of time with them? Like, were you like?
Yeah.
Did you guys have a weekly or daily practice?
I didn't really.
Like, were you becoming a Buddhist? Like, that's what I'm.
Well, I've in my spirituality, we could talk about that. That's a whole kind of I'm interested in all kinds of spiritual stuff since I was a kid, raised, I guess from Christian point of view. But Bernie and I don't know, the word guru kind of sticks in my craw. I just thought of him as a dear, wise friend, man, that really I got so much out of. And anyway, he had this organization called, and it's still going on, called Zen Peacemakers. And my idea with these heads, I was going to make 108 heads. That number is significant in Buddhism and a lot of religions. And I would rent these heads for $10,000 a year.
Well, that's hot. I've rented a little head before, but lower price.
I would put them in a little box and stuff. And basically it was like swag for people who wanted to support the Zen Peacemakers. You know what I mean? Now, along with the head, the person would get a certificate. You'd get the thing about, hey, let me give you a little head. You get to say that joke to your friends.
Yeah.
You could pass the head on to other people. There would also be a website that would talk about the genealogy of the head, who had the head I just went, my fantasy, I just went way up out there.
It's like Cabbage Patch Dolls, kind of all that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know but it's still in the works. I still have it, but then I got hit with this flood up here and all the heads got lost. And so I have to make more heads.
So you're saying there's some missing head around here.
There's some missing head.
Yeah, I agree, brother.
Yeah, I need some head, man. Yeah.
Hey, look, dude. I mean, yeah.